I never thought silence could be this loud. I'm standing in the hallway of what used to be my school, staring at my empty locker. The metal door hangs open like a mouth with nothing left to say. My books are gone. My photos are gone. The little mirror I taped to the inside, gone. Everything that proved I existed here has been erased. And honestly, it feels amazing. My name is Emma. I'm 17 years old. And 3 days ago, my parents told me I wasn't allowed to go to school until I apologized to my brother. Let me say that again, because even now it sounds insane. My parents, the two people who are supposed to protect me, who are supposed to be on my side, told me I couldn't get an education unless I got down on my knees and begged forgiveness from their golden child. From Lucas. From the brother who has spent the last 5 years making my life a living hell while they watched and smiled. So I looked my mother right in the eyes, and I said one word. All right. That's it. That's all I gave them. And the look on her face, God, I wish I'd taken a picture. Confusion. Then relief. Like she'd just been handed exactly what she wanted on a silver platter. She actually smiled at me. Put her hand on my shoulder like we were having a moment. I'm so glad you're finally being reasonable, Emma. Reasonable. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my room with the lights off, staring at the ceiling, listening to Lucas laughing downstairs with our parents. Listening to them celebrate their victory. Listening to my father say, see? Sometimes you just have to be firm with her. She needs structure. Structure. That's what he called emotional abuse. Structure. The next morning, I woke up at 5. I packed 3 boxes. I made 7 phone calls. I signed 4 documents. And by the time Lucas walked into school that morning, still wearing that smug, satisfied grin that said he'd won again, I was already gone. But before I left, I did one thing. One perfect, beautiful, irreversible thing. And when he saw my empty locker, when he saw the transfer papers already stamped and filed, when he realized what I'd done, he ran. He actually ran through the hallways like his life was ending, shoving past students, his face white as paper. He found me in the parking lot. I was putting the last box in my car. Emma. His voice cracked. Emma, please. Please tell me you haven't posted it. I turned around slowly. Looked at him. Really looked at him. My brother. My tormentor. The person who'd made every single day of my life miserable for half a decade while our parents applauded. Posted what? I said. And I watched his entire world collapse in his eyes. If you're enjoying this so far, don't forget to like the video and watch till the end. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me take you back. Let me show you how we got here. Because this didn't start 3 days ago. This started years before. This started the day Lucas came into our lives and decided I didn't deserve to exist in his shadow. I was 12 when everything changed. Before that, I was an only child. My parents doted on me. I had their attention, their love, their time. I wasn't spoiled, my family wasn't wealthy, but I was happy. I had piano lessons on Thursdays. My dad came to every school play. My mom braided my hair every morning before school. Life was simple. Life was good. And then my Aunt Rachel died. She was my father's sister. She'd been sick for a long time, cancer, the kind that takes everything slowly, and when she finally passed, she left behind a 15-year-old son. Lucas. I remember the day he moved in. I remember standing in the doorway of what used to be the guest room, watching my mother put fresh sheets on the bed, and feeling this strange tightness in my chest. Not jealousy. Not yet. Just awareness. Awareness that something was about to change. You're going to be such a good sister to him, Mom said, smiling at me. He needs us right now, Emma. He's lost everything. And I nodded. Because I was 12, and I was a good kid, and I wanted to help. I wanted to be there for this boy who'd just lost his mother. I had no idea I was inviting a monster into my home. The first few weeks were fine. Lucas was quiet. Grieving. He barely spoke, barely ate. My parents tiptoed around him like he was made of glass. I tried to talk to him a few times, asked if he wanted to watch a movie, if he needed help with homework, but he just looked through me. Like I wasn't even there. Give him time, Dad said. He's adjusting. So I gave him time. And slowly, Lucas started to come alive again. He started talking, laughing, joining us for dinner. My parents were so relieved. They started smiling again. Started planning family outings. Started treating Lucas like he'd always been part of the family. And somewhere in that transition, I became invisible. It was small things at first. Mom forgetting to braid my hair in the morning because she was making Lucas's favorite breakfast. Dad missing my school play because Lucas had a soccer game. My piano lessons getting cancelled because Lucas needed new equipment for hockey. It's just for now, Mom would say. Until he settles in. But he never settled in. He settled up. He rose. And I sank. By the time I was 13, I'd learned to be quiet. To not ask for things. To not expect attention. Because every time I did, I'd see that flash of annoyance in my parents' eyes. That look that said, "Can't you see we're busy? Can't you see Lucas needs us more?" And Lucas learned something too. He learned that he could do anything, and our parents would forgive him. Would defend him. Would blame someone else. Usually me. It started with small lies. A broken vase, Lucas said I did it. Missing money from Dad's wallet, Lucas said I took it. A failed test, Lucas said I distracted him while he studied. And every single time, my parents believed him. "Emma, why would you do this?" Mom would ask, her voice heavy with disappointment. "I didn't," I'd say. "I swear, I didn't." Lucas has no reason to lie. That became the family motto. Lucas has no reason to lie. As if grief gave him a lifetime pass to be a terrible person. As if losing his mother meant he could never be held accountable for anything ever again. I stopped defending myself after a while. What was the point? They'd already decided who the villain was. By 14, Lucas wasn't just lying anymore. He was actively sabotaging me. He'd delete my homework from the computer and tell our parents I'd never done it. He'd hide my textbooks before exams. He'd tell my friends cruel things I'd supposedly said about them until they stopped talking to me. And when I finally broke down and told my parents what was happening, you know what they said? "You're being dramatic, Emma. Lucas would never do those things. Maybe you're just stressed. Maybe you need to try harder to get along with him. Try harder." As if I wasn't already bending myself into shapes that didn't exist just to avoid his wrath. 15 was worse. Lucas discovered the internet. Discovered social media. Discovered that he could humiliate me in front of hundreds of people with a single post. He'd take pictures of me without my knowledge, sleeping, eating, changing clothes, and post them with captions designed to destroy me. My weird sister was a common theme. Sometimes he'd Photoshop them. Make me look ridiculous. Pathetic. I reported the posts. Got them taken down. Begged him to stop. "It's just a joke, Emma," he'd say, grinning. "Why are you so sensitive?" And when I showed our parents, when I pulled up the screenshots and the comments from my classmates calling me names, mocking me, my father sighed. "Boys will be boys, Emma. He's just teasing. You need to develop thicker skin." Thicker skin. I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab my father by the shoulders and shake him and say, "How thick does my skin need to be? How much am I supposed to take?" But I didn't. I just went to my room, locked the door, and cried into my pillow where no one could hear me. 16 was the year I started to disappear. Not physically. Physically I was still there. Still going to school. Still eating dinner at the table. Still existing in the space I'd always occupied. But mentally, emotionally, I was gone. I stopped talking unless spoken to. Stopped asking for help with anything. Stopped expecting my parents to show up for me in any capacity. I became a ghost in my own home. Silent. Invisible. Forgotten. And my parents? They didn't even notice. They were too busy with Lucas. Too busy celebrating his achievements. His hockey trophies. His honor roll grades. His acceptance into the advanced placement program. "We're so proud of you, son," Dad would say, clapping Lucas on the back. And I'd sit there, pushing food around my plate, remembering the time I made on a roll and no one even acknowledged it. Remembering the time I won a writing contest and Mom said, "That's nice, dear," without looking up from her phone. Lucas knew what he was doing. He knew he'd replaced me. And he loved it. Sometimes he'd look at me across the dinner table and smile. Not a friendly smile. Not a brotherly smile. A smile that said, "I won. This is my family now. You're just the guest who overstayed her welcome." And the worst part? He was right. I was the outsider in my own home. The burden. The problem child who just couldn't seem to get along with their perfect golden boy. So when Lucas decided to escalate things 3 months ago, when he decided that ruining my reputation and stealing my parents' love wasn't enough, when he decided he wanted to completely break me, I wasn't surprised. I was just done. It happened at school. In front of everyone. We were in the cafeteria. I was sitting with the 2 friends I had left, girls who'd stuck by me despite Lucas's best efforts to isolate me. We were talking about the upcoming winter formal. About dresses and dates and normal teenage things. And then Lucas walked over. He didn't walk. He strutted. Like he owned the place. Like he was about to do something hilarious. "Hey, Emma," he said, loud enough for nearby tables to hear. "I found something of yours." I looked up. Felt my stomach drop. Because I knew that tone. That was the tone he used right before he humiliated me. "I don't want it," I said quietly. "No, no," he said, grinning. "You really want this back." And he pulled out a notebook. My notebook. My private journal that I kept hidden in my room, under my mattress, where no one was supposed to find it. My blood went cold. "Lucas," I said. "Give it back." "Why?" He started flipping through it. This is fascinating stuff. Really deep. Sometimes I wonder if my parents even remember they have a daughter. He read it in a mocking voice. "Lucas has taken everything from me. Sometimes I wish." Stop. I stood up. My hands were shaking. "Stop it right now." But he didn't stop. He kept reading. Kept sharing my most private thoughts, my darkest moments, my pain, and people were laughing. Actually laughing. I tried to grab the notebook. He held it above his head. "Sometimes I think about running away," he continued. "About disappearing and seeing if anyone even notices I'm gone." "Give it back." I screamed. And I lunged for it. Really lunged. Lost my balance. Knocked into Lucas. He stumbled backward. Fell. Hit his arm on the edge of a table on the way down. The cafeteria went silent. Lucas sat up, holding his arm, his face twisted in pain. And then, slowly, he started to smile. "You pushed me," he said. "I didn't, you pushed me, Emma." Everyone saw it. And I looked around. Looked at the faces staring at us. Some shocked. Some entertained. None of them on my side. "I was just trying to get my journal back," I said. "He stole it from my room, I borrowed it," Lucas said calmly. "I thought it was a school notebook. I didn't know it was private. And when I tried to give it back, you attacked me." Attacked. He used that word. Attacked. Teachers came running. Started asking questions. And Lucas, sweet, innocent, golden boy Lucas, told them exactly what he told me. That he'd found a notebook. That he was trying to return it. That I'd violently shoved him. "Look at my arm," he said, pulling up his sleeve. There was a red mark. Barely a bruise. She could have really hurt me. I tried to explain. Tried to tell them he'd read my private thoughts out loud, that he'd humiliated me on purpose, that he'd been tormenting me for years. But nobody believed me. Nobody ever believed me. I got suspended. 3 days. For aggressive behavior toward another student. Lucas got a trip to the nurse and an ice pack and sympathy from everyone who witnessed it. And when my parents picked me up from school that day, when the principal explained what happened, they didn't ask for my side of the story. They didn't even look at me. "How could you, Emma?" Mom said in the car. Her voice was cold. Distant. "How could you hurt your brother like that?" "He's not my brother," I said. The words came out before I could stop them. He's a liar and a bully and you refuse to see it. Dad slammed on the brakes. We were at a red light, but the force of his anger made the whole car shake. Don't you dare, he said, turning around to look at me. Don't you dare speak about Lucas like that. That boy has been through hell. He lost his mother. He's been nothing but kind to you, and this is how you repay him? Kind. He said kind. I almost laughed. Almost. But laughing would have turned into crying, and I was so tired of crying. You don't know what he does when you're not around, I said quietly. You don't know who he really is. And you don't know what it's like to lose a parent, Mom snapped. To have your whole world ripped away. We have tried so hard to make Lucas feel loved, to make him feel like he belongs, and you have fought us every step of the way. I stared at her. At this woman who used to braid my hair. Who used to kiss my forehead before bed. Who used to call me her sunshine. What about me? I whispered. What about making me feel loved? She looked away. Actually looked away. This isn't about you, Emma, she said. Not everything is about you. And that's when I knew. Really knew. I'd lost them. I'd lost my parents to a boy who'd learned to weaponize his grief. Who'd turned his trauma into a shield that protected him from any consequences. Who'd taken everything from me and would never, ever be satisfied. The suspension ended. I went back to school. Kept my head down. Avoided Lucas as much as possible. But he wasn't done with me yet. 2 weeks later, money went missing from the school fundraiser. $500. The fundraiser I'd been helping organize. Guess who they blamed? The school launched an investigation. Searched lockers. Asked questions. And when they found the money hidden in my locker, in my backpack, in an envelope I'd never seen before, everyone assumed I'd stolen it. I didn't do this, I told the principal. I told my parents. I told anyone who would listen. Lucas did this. He planted it. He's trying to frame me. But I had no proof. Just accusations. Just desperation. And Lucas. Lucas played the heartbroken brother perfectly. I don't want to believe it, he told the principal, his voice cracking with emotion. But Emma's been so angry lately. So jealous. I think she might need help. Help. Like I was the one who was broken. The school gave me a choice. Admit what I did, return the money, accept the consequences. Or maintain my innocence and face a full disciplinary hearing that could result in expulsion. I chose the hearing. Because I didn't do it. Because I was innocent. Because someone, somewhere, had to believe me. But the hearing never happened. Because 3 days before it was scheduled, Lucas came to me with a deal. We were at home. Late at night. Everyone else was asleep. He knocked on my door, came into my room without waiting for permission, and sat on my bed like he owned it. You're going to drop this, he said. No, I'm not. Yes, he said calmly. You are. Because if you don't, I'll tell everyone about your journal. I took pictures of every page before I gave it back. I'll post them online. Every thought. Every secret. Every pathetic, desperate word. And I'll make sure everyone you know sees exactly how weak you really are. My heart stopped. Actually stopped. You wouldn't. Try me. He smiled. Or you could apologize. Tell the principal you made a mistake. Tell Mom and Dad you're sorry. Take your punishment. And I'll let you keep whatever dignity you have left. I wanted to hit him. Wanted to scream. Wanted to do something, anything, that would wipe that smug look off his face. But I was tired. So tired. And I was alone. Completely alone. So I went to the principal the next day. And I lied. I said I'd taken the money. That I was stressed. That I'd made a terrible mistake. That I was sorry. The disappointment in the principal's eyes was nothing compared to the disappointment in my parents' eyes when they found out. How could you steal, Emma? Dad said. How could you throw away everything we've worked so hard to provide for you? Provide. As if they'd provided anything except neglect and favoritism for the last 5 years. I'm sorry, I said. Because what else was there to say? They grounded me. Took away my phone. Made me pay back the money from the college fund I'd been building since I was 10. Made me write apology letters to everyone involved. And Lucas got to play the supportive brother. Got to put his arm around Mom and say, "I'm sure she didn't mean it. I'm sure she'll do better. I'll do better." Like I was the problem. Like I was the one who needed to change. That was a month ago. And 3 days ago, everything finally came to a head. It was a Sunday. The whole family was home. We were supposed to have dinner together, one of Dad's mandated family bonding times that he instituted after my supposed theft. I was in the kitchen helping Mom cook. Lucas was in the living room playing video games. Dad was reading the paper. Normal. Mundane. A regular Sunday evening in a completely dysfunctional family. And then Lucas called out, "Hey, Emma, can you bring me some water?" I didn't respond. I wasn't his servant. "Emma," he called again. "Water. Please. Get it yourself," I said quietly. The room went silent. Mom stopped chopping vegetables. Dad lowered his paper. "Excuse me?" Lucas said. I said, "Get it yourself. I'm busy." I heard him stand up. Heard his footsteps coming toward the kitchen. Felt the air change. "What did you just say to me?" I turned around. Looked at him. At this person who'd stolen my life. "I'm not your maid, Lucas." His face darkened. "Are you serious right now?" "Completely serious." "Emma," Mom said sharply. "Get your brother some water." No. That word. That simple word. It felt like freedom. "No." Dad stood up now too. "Emma, what's gotten into you?" "Nothing's gotten into me. I'm just tired of being treated like I don't matter. Like I'm only here to serve Lucas and apologize for existing." "That's not," Mom started. "Yes, it is." I was yelling now. Couldn't stop myself. Years of silence erupting all at once. Everything in this house revolves around Lucas. His needs. His feelings. His life. I'm just the background character you keep around out of obligation. "Emma, that's not true, isn't it? When's the last time either of you came to one of my events? When's the last time you asked how I was doing? When's the last time you believed me when Lucas lied about me?" "I don't lie about you," Lucas said. His voice was dangerous now. Warning me to stop. But I couldn't stop. The dam had broken. "You've done nothing but lie about me since you moved in here. You've sabotaged me. Humiliated me. Framed me. And I pointed at our parents, they let you. They encouraged you. Because poor Lucas lost his mom, so poor Lucas can do whatever he wants." "Emma." Dad's voice was thunderous. "Apologize. Right now." "No." I said apologize. And I said no. I was crying now. Couldn't help it. I'm done apologizing for things I didn't do. I'm done being the villain in my own home. I'm done pretending this is okay. Lucas stepped closer. Got right in my face. "You're jealous," he said quietly. "You're jealous because they love me more than you. Because I'm better than you. Because you're nothing." And something in me snapped. "Get out of my face," I said. "Make me." I didn't make him. I stepped back. Walked away. Tried to leave the room. But Lucas grabbed my arm. Pulled me back. "We're not done talking. Let go of me. Not until you apologize." I said let go. I yanked my arm free. He stumbled. Barely. Didn't even lose his balance really. But he grabbed his shoulder. Winced. And looked at our parents with wide, wounded eyes. "She hit me," he said. "I didn't, she hit me." He was louder now. More dramatic. "Mom, Dad, she actually hit me." I pulled my arm away. He grabbed me first, but they weren't listening. They were moving toward Lucas. Checking his shoulder. Asking if he was okay. Completely ignoring the red mark on my arm where he'd grabbed me. "Emma," Dad said, his voice cold and final. "Go to your room." "Are you kidding me now?" I went. Because what choice did I have? I sat in my room, shaking with rage and grief, listening to them comfort Lucas downstairs. listening to them talk about me like I was a problem that needed solving. And then, an hour later, they called me down. Both of them were sitting on the couch. Lucas was between them. United front. Sit, Dad said. Saturday. We've made a decision, Mom said. We can't keep living like this, Emma. This hostility. This anger. It's tearing our family apart. Our family. As if this had ever been a family. So here's what's going to happen, Dad continued. You are not going back to school until you apologize to Lucas. A real apology. Not some half-hearted sorry. A genuine acknowledgement of how you've treated him and a commitment to do better. I stared at them. You're suspending me from school. We're giving you time to reflect, Mom said. Time to understand how serious this is. He grabbed me first, enough with the excuses. Dad slammed his hand on the arm of the couch. Enough with blaming Lucas for everything. He has been nothing but patient with you. Nothing but kind. And you keep attacking him. Kind. Patient. These were the words they used to describe my abuser. I looked at Lucas. He was watching me. And for just a second, when our parents weren't looking, he smiled. He'd won again. And he knew it. I could have fought. Could have screamed. Could have made one last desperate attempt to make them see the truth. But what was the point? They'd chosen him years ago. This was just them making it official. So I looked my mother right in the eyes. And I said the word that would change everything. All right. Mom blinked. All right. Yeah. All right. I'll apologize. I watched the relief flood her face. Watched her shoulders relax. Watched her reach over and squeeze Lucas's hand like they'd just survived something terrible together. I'm so glad you're being reasonable, Emma. Reasonable. I went back to my room. Closed the door. Sat on my bed in the dark. And I started planning. Because I wasn't going to apologize. I was never going to apologize. I was going to do something so much better. I was going to leave. But not just leave. Not just run away and let them paint me as the unstable daughter who couldn't handle discipline. I was going to make them understand exactly what they'd lost. Exactly what they'd chosen to throw away. Exactly what Lucas had really done. I stayed up all night. Made lists. Made calls. Made arrangements. I called my grandmother on my mom's side. The one who lived 3 hours away. The one who'd been asking me to visit for years, but my parents always said no because it was too far or not a good time. I told her everything. Every lie. Every manipulation. Every moment of abuse that my parents had ignored. And she believed me. Actually believed me. Come stay with me, she said immediately. I'll call the school district here. We'll get you transferred. You can finish out your senior year in peace. Are you sure? Emma, honey, I'm sure. I've been watching this happen for years. I've tried to talk to your mother about it, but she doesn't listen. So yes. Come here. Let me take care of you the way they should have been all along. I cried. Actually cried with relief. Thank you, I whispered. Don't thank me yet, she said. We need to do this right. We need documentation. We need proof. Can you do that? And that's when I remembered. The videos. 6 months ago, I'd started recording Lucas. Not constantly. Just when I knew he was about to start something. I'd set up my phone. Hidden it. Caught him stealing money from my wallet and then telling our parents I'd lost it. Caught him deleting my homework. Caught him going through my things. I'd been collecting evidence for months. Just in case. Just hoping that someday, someone would listen. I have proof, I told my grandmother. I have videos. I have screenshots. I have everything. Good, she said. Then here's what we're going to do. We talked for 2 hours. Made a plan. A real plan. The next morning, I woke up early. While everyone was still asleep, I started packing. Not everything. Just the important things. Clothes. Documents. My laptop. Photos from before Lucas came into our lives. I made calls. To the school. To the district office. to a lawyer my grandmother had contacted who specialized in cases of parental negligence. By 7 a.m., my transfer papers were filed. By 8 a.m., I had an appointment with the school counselor to formally withdraw. By 9 a.m., I had 3 boxes in my car and my room was mostly empty. And at 9:30 a.m., I drove to school one last time. I didn't make a scene. Didn't announce anything. Just quietly cleared out my locker. Turned in my textbooks. Signed the withdrawal forms. The counselor looked sad. Are you sure about this, Emma? You're so close to graduating. I'll graduate, I said. Just not here. Can I ask why? I handed her a folder. Inside were copies of everything. The videos. The screenshots. Documented incidents going back 3 years. Because nobody here protected me, I said. And I'm done waiting for someone to start. She opened the folder. Started reading. Her face went pale. Emma, this is abuse. I know. Have you shown this to your parents? They don't care. They chose him. Then you don't need to do anything, I said gently. I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere safe. I just wanted you to know the truth. So when they come asking questions, you'll understand. I left her office. Walked back to my locker. It was almost 10 a.m. now. Lucas would be arriving soon. He always showed up late on Mondays because Mom drove him and she had yoga until 9:45. I wanted to be gone before he got there. Wanted to disappear like a ghost. But fate had other plans. Because as I was putting the last box in my car, I heard someone running. Footsteps slapping against pavement. Breathing hard. I turned around. Lucas. His face was white. Absolutely white. Like he'd seen his own death. Emma, he gasped. Emma, please. Please tell me you haven't posted it. I tilted my head. Looked at him. This boy who'd terrorized me for 5 years. Who'd stolen my family. Who'd made me believe I was worthless. Posted what? I said calmly. And I watched him break. The videos, he said. The evidence. Whatever you have. Please tell me you didn't post it online. Why would I post it online? Because, he stopped. Looked around. We were in the student parking lot. People were starting to arrive. Starting to watch. Can we talk somewhere private? No. Emma, please, why are you so worried, Lucas? I asked loudly. Loud enough for people to hear. What are you afraid I posted? His eyes went wild. Panicked. You know what? Do I? The things I did. The things you recorded. If people see you stealing from me, lying about me, framing me, abusing me. I didn't abuse you, you did. My voice was steady now. Strong. You did abuse me. 4 years. And you convinced our parents that I was the problem. That I was the jealous, angry, unstable one. And they believed you. Because you're so good at playing the victim. Emma, I'm sorry, no, you're not. You're scared. There's a difference. People were definitely watching now. Phones out. Recording. Lucas's worst nightmare coming true in real time. What do you want? He said desperately. I'll do anything. Just please don't ruin my life. Ruin your life? I almost laughed. Lucas, you ruined mine. Every single day for 5 years. And nobody cared. Nobody stopped you. So why should I care about ruining yours? Because I'm your brother, you're not my brother. The words came out sharp. Final. You're a parasite. You came into my home and you took everything. My parents. My peace. My sense of safety. You took it all and you enjoyed it. So no. I don't care about your life. I don't care what happens to you. He was crying now. Actually crying. Please, Emma. Please. I'll tell them the truth. I'll tell Mom and Dad everything. I'll confess. Just don't post those videos. And that's when I understood. He didn't care about our parents knowing. He cared about everyone else knowing. About his friends. His teammates. The college scouts who'd been watching him. His girlfriend who thought he was perfect. He cared about his image, his reputation, his carefully constructed life. I already told them the truth, I said quietly. Multiple times. They didn't believe me. So your confession means nothing. Then what do you want? I leaned against my car. Looked at him. Really looked at him. I want you to know what it feels like, I said. To lose everything. To have people look at you with disgust. To be completely alone. I want you to feel even a fraction of what you put me through. Emma, but I'm not going to post the videos. He froze. You're not? No. Because I'm better than you. Because I don't need revenge. I just need to be free of you. Relief flooded his face. Thank you. Thank you so much, but, I continued, I'm not deleting them either. I'm giving them to someone who matters. Someone who can actually do something with them. And if you ever come near me again, if you ever try to contact me, if you ever tell another lie about me, then everyone will see exactly who you are. Who did you give them to? I smiled. You'll find out. And I got in my car. Started the engine. Rolled down the window. Goodbye, Lucas, I said. I hope your fake life makes you happy. I drove away. Didn't look back. Didn't give him another second of my time. I drove straight to my grandmother's house. 3 hours of highway. 3 hours of freedom. And when I finally pulled into her driveway and saw her standing on the porch, arms open, tears in her eyes, I broke down. I cried for the little girl who lost her parents to a lie. I cried for the teenager who learned to be invisible. I cried for all the years I spent believing I was the problem. And then I stopped crying. Because I wasn't that girl anymore. I was Emma. The girl who walked away. The girl who saved herself. My grandmother held me while I sobbed. Didn't say anything. Just held me. And when I finally pulled back, she wiped my tears and said, let's get you settled. Your new school called. They're ready for you whenever you are. Already? Already. I pulled some strings. You start next week if you want. I nodded. I want. Good. Now let's get your things inside. And then you're going to eat. You're too skinny. Has your mother been feeding you? The question made me laugh. Made me realize that someone was finally asking the right questions. Finally seeing me. Finally caring. That first night at my grandmother's house, I slept better than I had in years. No footsteps in the hallway. No doors opening without permission. No fear that I'd wake up to find Lucas standing over my bed with that smile that said he was planning something terrible. Just peace. Quiet. Safety. The next morning, my phone exploded. 73 missed calls. Over 100 texts. Voicemails that started angry and progressively got more desperate. All from my parents. I listened to the first voicemail. Emma, where are you? We woke up and your room is empty. Your car is gone. Call us back right now. This isn't funny. Not funny. As if I'd done this as a joke. The second voicemail was from my mother. Emma, please. We're worried sick. Lucas told us you left school. That you transferred. Why would you do that without talking to us? Come home. We can figure this out. Figure this out. Like there was a compromise to be found. The third voicemail was from my father. His voice was different. Colder. Emma, I don't know what you think you're doing, but this is unacceptable. You are 17 years old. You cannot just leave. I'm calling the police. I'm reporting you as a runaway. A runaway. He called me a runaway. Like I was a criminal instead of a girl escaping abuse. I called my grandmother. Dad says he's calling the police. She snorted. Let him. I've already spoken to a family lawyer. You're not a runaway. You're a minor who relocated to a family member's home due to an unsafe environment. We have documentation. Evidence. Witnesses. If your father wants to involve the police, they're going to have some very uncomfortable questions for him. Are you sure? Emma, honey, I'm positive. You're safe here. Legally. Emotionally. Physically. Your father can bluster all he wants, but he can't force you to go back. I felt something loosen in my chest. Something that had been tight for years. "Thank you," I whispered. "Stop thanking me. This is what family does." I didn't call my parents back. Didn't respond to the texts. Let them panic. Let them wonder. Let them feel a fraction of the helplessness I'd felt for years. Instead, I focused on settling in. Enrolled at my new school. Met with the counselor. Set up my schedule. Started fresh. The counselor at my new school was kind. Actually kind. She looked at my transcripts and said, "You're an excellent student, Emma. Whatever happened at your last school, it clearly didn't reflect your abilities." "Thank you," I said. "Do you want to talk about why you transferred?" "Not yet. Maybe someday. But not yet." She nodded. "That's okay. Just know that my door is always open. And if anyone here gives you trouble, you tell me immediately. We don't tolerate bullying in any form." I almost cried. Because that was all I'd ever wanted. Someone to say that. Someone to mean it. My first day at the new school was strange. Nobody knew me. Nobody had preconceived notions about who I was. I could be anyone. So I decided to be myself. The real me. Not the quiet, invisible ghost I'd become. The version of Emma who existed before Lucas. Before the lies. Before the abuse. I joined the writing club. Made friends. Laughed at lunch. Felt like a human being again. And every day, my phone kept buzzing with messages from my parents. I read them sometimes. Just to see. "Mom, Emma, please come home. We miss you. Lucas misses you. Dad, this is ridiculous. You're throwing away your family over nothing. Mom, I don't understand why you're doing this. We've given you everything. Dad, if you don't come back, there will be consequences." Consequences. He was threatening me. Even now. I showed the messages to my grandmother. She forwarded them to the lawyer. "Let them dig their own grave," she said. "Every text, every voicemail, it just proves they don't understand what they've done wrong." 2 weeks after I left, the school counselor from my old school called me. "Emma, I wanted to let you know that I filed a report," she said. "Based on the evidence you gave me. It's with the school board and Child Protective Services." My heart stopped. "What?" "The videos you showed me. The documentation. That's not just bullying, Emma. That's abuse. And as a mandatory reporter, I had to report it. I'm sorry if that makes things harder for you, but no," I said quickly. "No, don't apologize. Thank you. Thank you for believing me. Of course I believe you. The evidence is right there. Nobody else did." Then nobody else was paying attention. After that call, things escalated quickly. Child Protective Services showed up at my parents' house. Asked questions. Interviewed Lucas. Interviewed my parents. My parents called me, furious. "What did you do?" Dad demanded. "What lies did you tell them?" "I didn't lie. I told them the truth." "The truth?" "You showed them edited videos, they're not edited. They're raw footage of Lucas abusing me. Of you ignoring it." "Emma, we never ignored anything, you ignored everything." I was yelling now. Couldn't help it. "You chose him over me. Every single time. And now you're mad because someone finally listened to me. You're tearing this family apart. There is no family." I screamed. "There hasn't been for 5 years. There's just you, Mom, and Lucas. I was never part of it. I was just the person you blamed when things went wrong. That's not." I hung up. Blocked their numbers. Couldn't do it anymore. My grandmother found me on the floor of my room, crying. "Oh, sweetheart," she said, sitting down beside me. "I know it hurts. But you did the right thing. Then why does it feel so bad? Because they're your parents. And even when parents fail us, even when they hurt us, we still love them. That's the cruel part. The love doesn't just go away. I don't want to love them anymore. I know. But you will. For a while longer. And then one day, you'll wake up and realize that what you felt wasn't love. It was hope. Hope that they'd change. That they'd see you. And when you stop hoping, that's when you'll really be free." I leaned against her. Let her hold me like my mother should have. How long until I stop hoping? I whispered. I don't know, honey. But however long it takes, I'll be here. The investigation took a month. They interviewed teachers, students, anyone who had witnessed the dynamic between me and Lucas. And people talked. People I didn't even know came forward with stories. About times they saw Lucas trip me in the hallway and the teacher laughed it off. About times he spread rumors and nobody stopped him. About times I tried to defend myself and got punished for it. The evidence piled up. Became undeniable. And then the school board made their decision. Lucas was suspended. Pending a full disciplinary hearing. Possible expulsion. My parents were required to attend mandatory counseling sessions about recognizing abuse and showing favoritism. And Lucas faced potential charges of harassment and stalking. I got a call from the lawyer. They're offering a settlement, he said. Your parents. They want this to go away quietly. They're offering to pay for your college tuition in full. To publicly acknowledge that they failed to protect you. To agree to no contact unless you initiate it. What do I have to do? Drop the civil case. Agree not to speak publicly about what happened. I thought about it. About what I wanted. What would actually help? No, I said finally. No. I don't want their money. I don't want a settlement. I want them to face the truth. I want there to be a record of what happened. So if Lucas does this to someone else, there's proof that he's done it before. The lawyer was quiet for a moment. That's very brave, Emma. It's not brave. It's necessary. The hearing happened 3 months after I left. I didn't attend. Didn't want to see them. Didn't want to give them the satisfaction of seeing me break. But my grandmother went. Took notes. Told me everything. Lucas tried to deny it at first. Said the videos were taken out of context. That I was exaggerating. That he'd only been trying to help me fit in. But then they showed the video of him reading my journal out loud in the cafeteria. The video of him planting money in my locker. The video of him grabbing my arm and then pretending I'd hit him. And he couldn't deny it anymore. My parents sat there in silence. Watched the evidence pile up. Watched their golden boy revealed as a manipulative abuser. And according to my grandmother, my mother cried. Actually cried. But not for me. For Lucas. I don't understand, she kept saying. He's such a good boy. He's been through so much. Even then. Even with the truth right in front of her. She couldn't let go of the narrative she'd built. My father didn't cry. He just sat there, stone-faced, like he was watching something happen to someone else's family. The board made their decision. Lucas was expelled. The expulsion would be on his permanent record. His college applications would have to disclose it. My parents were referred to family therapy. Mandatory. If they refused, CPS would continue their investigation. And I was offered an official apology from the school. From the principal. From the teachers who'd looked the other way. I accepted the apology. But I didn't forgive them. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Because sorry doesn't undo 5 years of suffering. Sorry doesn't give me back the childhood I lost. Sorry doesn't erase the scars. But it's a start. I graduated from my new school 4 months later. Top of my class. Full scholarship to college. My grandmother was there, front row, cheering louder than anyone. My parents didn't come. Didn't call. Didn't acknowledge it at all. And I was okay with that. Because I'd stopped hoping. I'd stopped waiting for them to see me. To choose me. To love me the way they should have from the beginning. I'd chosen myself instead. A week after graduation, I got a message from Lucas. Just one word. Sorry. I stared at it for a long time. Thought about responding. Thought about accepting it. Thought about letting him back into my life even just a little. But then I remembered. Remembered the smile on his face every time he'd hurt me. Remembered the way he'd used his grief as a weapon. Remembered the way he'd stolen 5 years of my life and never once felt bad about it until he faced consequences. So I blocked him. Deleted the message. Deleted every reminder that he'd ever existed. And I moved on. College was everything I needed it to be. Freedom. Independence. A chance to be Emma without the weight of my past crushing me. I made friends. Real friends. People who didn't know what I'd been through. Who just liked me for me. I joined clubs. Pursued my writing. Published my first short story in a literary magazine. I fell in love. Not dramatically. Not like the movies. Just quietly. With a boy who made me laugh. Who listened when I talked. Who never once made me feel small. I built a life. A real life. One where I wasn't invisible. Where I mattered. And slowly, painfully, I healed. It's been 3 years now since I left that house. Since I walked away from my family. Since I chose myself. People ask sometimes if I regret it. If I miss them. If I wish things had been different. And the truth is complicated. Do I regret leaving? No. Never. It saved my life. Do I miss them? Sometimes. I miss the parents they used to be. Before Lucas. Before they chose him over me. I miss being 12 and having a family that loved me. Do I wish things had been different? Every day. I wish they'd believed me. I wish they'd protected me. I wish they'd loved me enough to see what was happening. But wishes don't change reality. And reality is that they failed me. They chose a lie over their daughter. They enabled an abuser because it was easier than admitting they'd been wrong. And I can't forgive that. Not yet. Maybe not ever. My grandmother asks sometimes if I'll ever reconcile with them. Maybe, I tell her. If they ever really understand what they did. If they ever take real accountability. If they ever prove that they've changed. And if they don't, then I'll be okay without them. Because I have you. And I have the family I've built. And that's enough. She hugs me. Tells me she's proud of me. And I believe her. Because she shows me. Every day. In ways my parents never did. Last month, I got a letter in the mail. From my mother. I almost threw it away. Almost burned it. But something made me open it. It was short. 3 paragraphs. Emma, I've been in therapy for 2 years now. Working through what happened. What we allowed to happen. The therapist helped me understand that we were so focused on helping Lucas heal from his trauma that we didn't see the trauma we were causing you. We didn't protect you. We didn't believe you. We failed you as parents. I know sorry isn't enough. I know I can't undo the damage. But I want you to know that I see it now. I see what we did. And I'm ashamed. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. If you don't, I understand. I love you. I've always loved you. Even when I was too blind to show it. I read it 3 times. Cried. Folded it up. Put it in a drawer. I haven't responded yet. Don't know if I will. Because part of me wants to believe her. Wants to think she's really changed. That she really understands. But part of me remembers. Remembers all the times she chose Lucas. All the times she looked away. All the times she made me feel like I was the problem. And I don't know if I can trust her again. Don't know if I want to. Maybe someday. Maybe when the wound isn't so fresh. When I'm stronger. When I know for sure that I can walk away again if I need to. But not today. Today, I'm sitting in my dorm room, writing this story. Documenting what happened. Making sure there's a record. Making sure that if someone else is going through what I went through, they'll know they're not alone. They'll know it's not their fault. They'll know they can survive. Because I did. I survived. I walked away from a family that didn't choose me. I built a new life. I learned to love myself even when the people who were supposed to love me couldn't. And if you're reading this, if you're living in a house where you're invisible, where you're blamed for someone else's cruelty, where you're told you're the problem, please know this, you're not the problem. You never were. The people who should protect you are failing. And that's on them. Not you. And you can leave. It's hard. It's terrifying. It feels impossible. But you can do it. You can save yourself. Because you deserve to be seen, to be heard, to be loved. And if the people who are supposed to give you that can't or won't, then you find people who will. You find your grandmother, your friends, your teachers, your counselors, anyone who will listen, anyone who will believe you. And you walk away from the people who make you feel small. Because life is too short to be invisible. Too precious to waste on people who don't see your worth. I learned that the hard way. But I learned it. And now I'm free. Really, truly free. My name is Emma. I'm 20 years old. And I'm the girl who saved herself. That's my story. The story of how I went from invisible to unforgettable. The story of how I stopped apologizing for existing. The story of how I chose myself. And I'd do it all again. Every hard moment. Every painful choice. Every tear. Because it led me here. To this life. This freedom. This peace. Lucas tried to take everything from me. My family. My home. My identity. But he couldn't take my future. And he couldn't break my spirit. Because I'm stronger than he ever realized. Braver than my parents ever knew. I'm Emma. And I'm finally home. Not in a house. Not in a building. But in myself. And that's the only home that really matters. The last thing I heard about Lucas was from a mutual acquaintance. He's working retail now. Didn't get into any of the colleges he applied to because of the expulsion. Still lives with my parents. Still blames me for ruining his life. And I feel nothing about it. No satisfaction. No guilt. Nothing. Because his life isn't my responsibility. His choices aren't my burden. He had every opportunity to be better. To be kind. To be human. He chose cruelty instead. And he's living with those consequences. Just like I'm living with mine. Except mine are beautiful. Mine are freedom. So that's what I posted. That's what Lucas was so afraid of. Not the videos. Not the evidence. Not his abuse documented and uploaded for the world to see. He was afraid of this. My story. My truth. My voice. Because he knew that once I started talking, once I stopped being silent, once I stopped protecting him, everything would fall apart. And he was right. My locker was empty because I was done. The transfer papers were filed because I was leaving. And his panic was justified because I was finally free. And there was nothing he could do to stop me. That's the power of walking away. Of choosing yourself. Of refusing to be small anymore. Lucas thought he'd won. Thought he'd broken me. Thought I'd always be there to push around. But I wasn't broken. I was bending. Preparing. Gathering strength. And when I finally stood up straight, when I finally said no more, when I finally walked away, I didn't just leave him behind. I left behind everything that ever made me feel worthless. Everything that ever made me doubt myself. Everything that ever made me believe I deserved to be treated like I didn't matter. I left behind the old Emma. The ghost. The invisible girl. And I became someone new. Someone whole. Someone free. So when Lucas ran up to me in that parking lot, panic-stricken and desperate, asking if I'd posted it, I told him the truth. I didn't post it online. Didn't need to. Because the truth was already out. Already spreading. Already destroying the perfect image he'd built. And I didn't have to do anything except walk away. That's the thing about the truth. It doesn't need you to scream it from the rooftops. It doesn't need you to fight for it. It just needs you to stop hiding it. And once you do, once you let it breathe, it takes care of itself. My parents' smiles vanished because they realized what they'd lost. Not just me, but their credibility. Their reputation. Their carefully constructed narrative about their perfect blended family. They'd built their happiness on my silence. My suffering. My willingness to be the scapegoat. And when I stopped playing that role, when I stopped accepting blame, when I stopped being quiet, their whole world came crashing down. Because you can't build a house on a foundation of lies. Eventually, it collapses. And I was there to watch it fall. Not with satisfaction. Not with revenge. just with quiet acceptance. This was always how it was going to end. Because lies can't survive forever. And abusers always get caught eventually. I just had to be brave enough to start telling the truth. So if you take anything from my story, take this: your voice matters. Your truth matters. Your pain is real, even if people tell you it isn't. And you don't owe anyone your silence. Especially not the people who hurt you. Speak up. Walk away. Choose yourself. Because you deserve to live in the light. Not in someone else's shadow. You deserve to be seen. To be heard. To be loved. And if the people around you can't give you that, find people who can. Build your own family. Create your own home. Write your own story. And don't ever, ever apologize for surviving. I'm Emma. I'm 20 years old. I'm a college student. A writer. A friend. A granddaughter. A survivor. And I'm done being invisible. This is my story. And I'm not ashamed of it. Not anymore. Because it made me who I am. And I'm pretty proud of who that is. So thank you for listening. For reading. For being here. And if you're fighting your own battle, if you're living in your own shadow, if you're waiting for someone to save you, don't wait. Save yourself. It's the most powerful thing you'll ever do. Trust me. I know.